Welcome back to the Daily Crypto Market Update. How is this reality right now? Anyone else? I bet Trump's going to have a call with China over the weekend, post a self-congratulatory message on X about the call, and tell us that he negotiated the tariff down to 10%. Almost there. Trump posted recently, "Don't worry about China, it will all be fine. Highly respected President Xi, or G, however you say it, just had a bad moment. He doesn't want depression for his country, and neither do I. The USA wants to help China not hurt it." Dude, leave us out of your drama, man. Stop it. Like, no one wants to be a part of this anymore. Can you imagine there was a time where people actually just had a phone, and then when they talked to someone, that was it. And then it took a couple of days for news that was really important to get out instead of every news event being shared instantly online. You want to know why the markets are being manipulated? Because news is way too easily widespread. Also, rumors and FUD way too easily widespread. Now, the reality. President Trump says that tariffs on China are still the plan for November 1st. How are we going to make heads or tails of this now? So we need to keep tabs on this still, unfortunately. Whatever, man. Whatever. Cool. So let's look at BTC's price action. What are all these white lines right here? Good question. So on the hourly time frame, you can see we had all of these successively lower highs right here. These are all of these resistance fans or resistance lines that we can see here. I guess we could really go up here, but I really wanted to focus on these guys. So BTC on Sunday, 11 p.m. my time, but basically midnight my time, started to go up higher after putting in lows here on Sunday morning, which I'm sure freaked out a lot of the market. Now the price is up 5% since those lows. These levels are all taken out, which is great. The main thing to watch right now is overhead resistance, which we can see here is still valid, in my opinion. I have to change. Let's see. No, we're good. So we have overhead resistance that was pierced many times. And we had our scam wick down here to 4-hour TBO support at 109K. Price came back down to bounce off of it. We're back inside of the cloud. So now that we're back inside of the cloud on the 4-hour time frame, this is now a change from being strong bearish to being in bullish consolidation. I know it sounds good. Trust me, things are still shaky. Now, the main thing we need to watch for is BTC pushing up and above overhead resistance. If we can see Bitcoin pushing back above, we'll just say like $118,000 and holding above this line, then everything else will rally much higher, much harder, much faster. Things are still really shaky. Another thing that you can think of as well in terms of a bullish reversal is that on Friday's scam wick down to $100,000, basically, 102,000 here on Binance, but much lower on other exchanges. We also saw the TBO print at TBO close long, which is that blue diamond right there. So this is letting us know that if you haven't taken any profits out of your bullish position, opened here by TBO open long at 120K, consider taking some of those profits out, quote unquote, when the price retraces back up to the fast line. I'm laughing because obviously it's not going to be profit, but hear me out. The expected behavior for the price when it is massively overextended from the fast line is a snap back up. The further away we go, the higher the probabilities are of the price snapping back up to tag the fast line. Currently, the daily fast line is at $116,800 or so. So I'm expecting the price to go up about 1.7%, which is easy. Going up to this level, not difficult at all. Another positive thing that we could try to help us feel better, I guess, about the event is that we had a fair value gap from here at about 113,000 to about here at 118,000. Obviously got filled. And we can now say the same thing again. We now have a fair value gap up here at 121,000 that still has yet to be filled. So again, I do expect Bitcoin's price to go up above here. I would love to see something like this, but I do think that we're going to see BTC go back up to fill or close this fair value gap. That's a bearish gap. And I do think that Bitcoin's going to be making new all-time highs. I still expect BTC to top out in mid-November in about a month, around 150K, maybe. We'll see. But that's the target that I'm expecting and I'm waiting for. I am going to continue to take profits on the way up. I didn't make a big deal about it, but I personally took some profits out when BTC was up here at $124,000. I didn't broadcast it, didn't really say like, oh yeah, I'm going to be selling here. Not out of fear, but just because like I've been selling as the price has been going higher for a while, because I believe that we are very much near the end of this bull market. So I'm just doing what I've been telling you guys. I'm taking profits on the bounces because that's exactly what I've been trained and programmed to do by crypto, precisely because of things like Friday. Okay. On the weekly time frame, let me go ahead and hide that line because it's really annoying looking. Just an update. We have another TBT bearish divergence here. We had another one back over here in January 2024 before BTC rallied. We had one marking a kind of top here before it fell down about 17%. This one I think is more influenced by the long lower wick that we all saw of like 19%. So that's pretty obvious there. Weekly volume obviously exceeded the moving average. Duh. But it's a good thing in a way because it shows demand still for BTC. It depends on how you want to look at it, but I do see it as a good thing. Now, are we anywhere near what we saw in previous market cycle tops? Well, I'm personally waiting for multiple TBT bearish divergences, including one of these clusters, and I haven't seen one yet. I don't want to give away too much because I have a lot more I need to share first with people in the Better Traders Club when I do my weekly market analysis video, which is what I'm going to be doing after this. But understand that you'll be hearing about it on YouTube later. But there are some other observations that I want to share about where we are, where I think we're going, how I think it's going to end up. But I can't really get into it here. The other things we need to look at too, obviously, are Ethereum. Now, I am personally shocked that Ethereum closed up 10% yesterday. That's an incredible show of strength. Comparing that to BTC, only up 3.9%. Ethereum's finally waking up, which is honestly impressive. Volume was good the last 3 days, especially over the weekend. That's a nice thing to see. On the weekly, volume was good, of course, because there was a lot of volatility. Again, similar story. We really need to see, in order for Ethereum to stay strong, I should say it this way, we need to see Ethereum break above this level here, which is currently at 4,500. Now, because it moved up really high, we should see it close the fair value gap, which is moving up to about 4,300. I don't think it's necessarily going to shoot right above this, but I think that's the eventual outcome, that we will see Ethereum break above. I really struggle to see Ethereum going up some crazy amount, but anything is honestly possible. Where's the liquidity going to come from? Where's the money going to come from? I honestly don't know at this point because so much money was just liquidated on futures, on with leverage positions and margins, margin calls. Oh, by the way, both of these are green because I like the bullish signs that I'm seeing here for Bitcoin and also for Ethereum. Note the TBT bullish divergence here. It doesn't mean that we're going to see Ethereum go straight up and to the right. I think that we might see it pull back before we see it go up higher. There is support here. Notice we had something similar back over here in late September, TBT bullish divergence. What we're really waiting for is a closed short. This orange diamond, this is what we're waiting for across the board for a lot of coins because everything is just opened up TBO open shorts, like this one back over here. So the first thing we typically see is the TBT bullish divergence, and then we see a closed short, which is typically going to correlate with a pump to a greater or lesser degree. Now, the big one to watch right now is stablecoin dominance. Yes, I shared this on Saturday's video that stablecoin dominance moved up to 7.82% on a massive upper wick. Really scary, not gonna lie. Now, the things that I'm most concerned about right now is having a massive upper wick like this. It's pretty scary. Seeing the fact that we've had previous rallies, let me actually just do this to make it super clean and clear. Previous rallies that we've seen start with one of these, like back here, February 3rd, massive upper wick, and then we see stablecoin dominance moving up higher and higher. If we go back a little bit further, really big, massive upside wick, or like this one right here, we saw a little bit of a correction, but things eventually moved up higher. Now, the one thing about this specific move is that it's near the top, but it's not at the top of the range. If we saw it wick up here above 8.7% or so, like even 8.5%, I would be considering that a local bottom. And then we should be seeing a bigger reversal. This is just a short-term move. So yeah, I'm not going to say too much more about that. Another positive thing we could say about this, quote unquote positive, is that on Saturday, we saw RSI moving up to 78.88. Why is that a positive thing? Well, we have a high over here at 82.76. If we saw the relative strength index close above this level, then that would mean way more pain is on the way. Where in reality, because we're seeing a lower high, we'll most likely see another lower high, even if stablecoin dominance moves up, which I don't expect it to. But if it does, we might see RSI move up here again to 73 or so. But eventually, like that's basically the start of a recovery. It's a good sign because seeing a lower high means that there's less of a chance of things getting escalated and scarier in terms of relative strength index. So yes, we saw another green candle on Saturday, about up 1.75%. But because Ethereum and Bitcoin moved up well, as well as a lot of other coins, we saw stablecoin dominance lose 5%. So yeah, Bitcoin dominance, of course, we know on the daily time frame on Friday, it shot all the way up here to 63.48%. The plan all along has been Bitcoin dominance to move up and tag this thick line right here, the fast line, which it did. It wicked it. It still counts. It's not cheating. It still counts. Now, the thing I'm waiting for is for Bitcoin dominance still to top out around 61%. I believe that will correlate with Bitcoin making a new all-time high above 126,000. Is that where it is? 127,000? I can't remember. 126. So I do believe that we'll see Bitcoin go up higher. I know it seems really crazy. I actually think this month we're going to close up at around 130K. That's just what I think. I don't want to get too detailed into why, because I'm sharing a lot of that stuff already in the club. On the daily time frame, yeah, that's a huge correction. Why does Bitcoin dominance shoot up like this when there's a huge sell-off? And why doesn't Ethereum dominance also move up, or like others' dominance? Well, that's easy, because Bitcoin is the most desirable asset in the cryptocurrency sphere. In the world of crypto, Bitcoin is number one. The fact that Bitcoin dominance is at 59% or is up to 60%, think about that. Out of the entire crypto market cap, Bitcoin dominates now 59.61%. More than half of the cryptocurrency market cap is dominated by Bitcoin. This isn't talking about the market cap per se. This is basically, well, the market cap is determined by people buying, right? So when Bitcoin is dumping, the reason why we see spikes when that happens is because it's a desirable asset. Compare that to Ethereum dominance. Now, Ethereum dominance usually moves with the price of Ethereum. So we know that Ethereum moved up about 10% yesterday. So Ethereum dominance moved up 4.91%. And it printed a TBT bullish divergence, which is a good sign that we should see a reversal. Not a guarantee that's going to happen. We really want to see Ethereum dominance move above this line. Now, notice that these two are very similar. I actually expect Ethereum dominance to move above this line. And I'm telling you now, once Ethereum dominance closes above this line, which will be about 13%, it will be leading Ethereum and Ethereum's price to go up here and go up higher. So keep an eye on Ethereum dominance. When this starts to close above this level of about 13.13%, that's when Ethereum's really going to be moving, in my opinion. Others dominance, we need to talk about this because I told you guys pretty clearly, I wasn't trying to be sensationalist about it. I'm not really big into like freaking people out about stuff. I have fun with my thumbnails, I will say that, just because they're thumbnails. But we had TBT bearish divergences back over here in mid-September. We had 3 TBO closed longs on the daily. This is warning us. Guys, watch out, there might be a reversal. Now, there's no way that I was expecting a reversal like this. But we know that others' dominance lost support big time. It lost this major level of support, which is now going to act as resistance. It did fall down below our current resistance level at 6.91% and has since moved back up, moving up Saturday, 1.23%, yesterday 2.37%. I believe this will continue to move up, but it's going to take a while for it to regain what was lost. Personally, looking at this massive sell-off, I'm not really expecting others' dominance to reclaim up like 53% or so. I believe that alts are going to top out mid-December. If it happens to increase by 46%, I will be shocked. I'll just say that flat out. Like, I will honestly be super surprised if others' dominance, representing basically everything outside of the top 10, increases by 46% across the board. It's possible, but that's a huge increase after a massive liquidation event. The market's still very shaky for others. And again, I still wholly believe that it is Bitcoin season. October is historically the most green month for BTC. Total ETH.D, the total crypto market cap, excluding stablecoins, denominated in a dominance percentage. There was a massive move that happened last week. Actually, I'm going to go to the daily time frame. The circles here are showing us these possible reversal signals that I was trying to wish away and will away that no, these aren't going to be the same, but seeing TBO breakouts here after the move, seeing TBO close longs, the blue diamonds, and a massive pullback. So the good news is that the pullback is done. We're seeing the reversal. I'm not seeing any bullish reversal signs yet, but I do believe that with a nice move up for total ETH.D at 0.42%, which doesn't seem like a lot, but for this chart, it is. That's a good start to the recovery. What we really want to see, and I'm going to make this thick again because it did not hold. Well, I guess it did, so maybe we'll just do this. We really need to see total ETH.D push above 93%. The reason why it dumped is because a lot of the dominance shifted over to stables because of the sell-off. Now, what's interesting is that this is not an isolated event. Of course, the stock market had a really nasty sell-off on Friday, nowhere near the pain that we saw in crypto, but it did fall 2.71%. But notice that here on S&P futures, before the S&P is actually opened, it's already up 1.2%. I believe that we're going to see it move back up here to the 1272 level at 67.91. This is now appearing to be a level of contention short term, but this is a short term target to watch. This level of 67.91, just so you know. On Discord, I've been trying my best to help people and understand how to handle this market. We had a call shortly after I made my video on Saturday morning. They're just talking about some stuff. People are doing a great job though. They're making good money on these pullbacks, which is awesome. There are also people that did lose money too. I want you to understand, like, this is by no means like a secret society of people that always make money. No, like some of us are also just using bots. Like Ahimsa, he's been a longtime club member. He's literally just making money over and over and over with DCA bots. And this is what I've been doing as well. There's also, I'm not trying to say anything at all to discredit Johnny at all. But I want you to understand, if you are using a DCA bot on an exchange with leverage, whatever the leverage is, you're playing with fire. So I've already told him in a message, no, don't do it, man. It's not worth it. Yes, it may feel good to make 263% in a very short amount of time with a futures grid bot. Don't do it. The reason why we saw a massive liquidation across the board is because people were using futures grid bots. So it's very, 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 did I say very dangerous? It's very dangerous. Whereas with spot, it's much easier and much safer to do these kinds of trades. So what's amazing about this move is that when you use a DCA bot like I've been using, you can do extremely well. I need to go back over here. So it would be the 10th, I believe. Yep, this move right here. So when you know how to use DCA bots and you have your initial position in, then we have our DCA1, DCA2. You can see where I actually put a DCA order here at 8 a.m. when I finally saw it. And the price didn't go back down there again. So I got most of it filled here, the rest of it filled here. And I was just waiting for it to hit my take profit target, which happened about a day and 9 hours later. You can see that red arrow right there. And now my Masa bot is running again. Why am I running this bot? I'm running this bot as a test and also as a wager. It is ridiculously oversold. But the reality is that as the price goes down and I'm able to accumulate more Masa, and like I'm not advocating for you to buy Masa at all. I just want you to understand the logistics behind this. All the Masa that I accumulate down here is going to be worth so much more if and when the price actually recovers. That's the whole idea. That's the ethos behind this. Trust me, it's still a very painful bot. Could I go back in time and fix it and change the bot? Absolutely. I would choose something else that I'd be way more profitable with, much less stressful. But I've been able to trade this bot over and over and over and over and over. and it's making money for me in Masa, which hopefully will have its day where it goes up here to this take profit target or even higher. Maybe we'll see that in December. I hopefully we'll see it do well. Zora, I don't know if you guys caught this. I posted as well on X about this, but it lost a very important level at 8 cents, and it fell down another 15%. I actually put a stink bid order down here and another DCA level down here. I got filled on my order. Oh my gosh, I haven't even seen this yet in full detail. So I got filled here. It went down another 2% from there. Why here? It's a good question. I was looking at these wicks here on the hourly time frame and basically just wanted to stay inside of this lower wick. Usually what I'll do is I'll take the entire wick like this and identify the halfway point and go just above it. But I knew that the chances of a lot of these coins falling down even farther was very, very low. So I put in an order here on spot, not on futures, and took profit here on the first move 20% and here at 40%. And walked away. I basically woke up today to $279 in profit, which is ridiculous. And this is the stuff that I teach you guys how to do in our courses at the Better Traders. I talk about this every single video on purpose because the course that I talk about the most, which is 15 Minutes to Financial Freedom, the purpose of the course is to help you understand how to become a better trader, to trade in less than 15 minutes a day, and to focus on spot trading. I do teach how to use leverage. I've used leverage for a long time. Right now, I'm using less than 10% of my portfolio with leverage. So even on massive days like Friday, I actually wasn't liquidated at all. I did have lots of stops get triggered, but that's how I trade. But Mastering Passive Income, The Smarter Trader, which is currently on sale, these are both advanced courses that are much more expensive that do talk about leverage trading. But this course right here, 15 Minutes to Financial Freedom, is literally the best for basically everyone because you learn how to do stuff like this, how to identify good trade setups, how to execute the trade, how to stick to your trading plan. Because believe it or not, I know that trading on spot just does not seem as sexy. But you know what is sexy? Having a portfolio to trade with after a devastating day like Friday. Please hear me out. I have been liquidated many times. It hurt every time until I finally learned my lesson and I decided, you know what? I think I just need to focus on spot. After doing that, dumps like what we saw on Friday are always a gift in disguise. Always. It feels awful, and I'm not trying to downplay anyone's emotions or anyone's portfolios or their losses. Losing money sucks. This is why I pivoted and focused on spot for 90% of my portfolio for the last 5 years. It's worked out so much better. Does it mean that I never ever lose? No, I lose. I lose money. It happens on spot. Do I lose on futures? Yes, I get stopped out, but I still have a portfolio to trade with at the end of the day. And that's why this course is so valuable. It also comes with a 1-month trial to the Better Traders Club, which is awesome. You get lots of tools, yada, yada, yada. But I really just want to continue moving on. The video is getting already too long for me. I want to tighten it up. But check out the links down below. Femex, they're giving away 30,000 USDT in rewards, depositing and trading bonuses. BYDFi, $10,100 in rewards up for grabs, as they say there. So I want to go back over here to TradingView, because I got some charts I want to share with you. Before I do, if you guys have any charts that you're wanting me to look at, leave a comment down below. I'll do my best to look at them and provide some advice or some insights, at least for what I see in the markets, okay? Now, XRP, I have a lot of these that are green flagged, by the way, because I believe that these ones will continue to do well, that they've shown some really good resilience to a degree. I personally, actually, XRP doesn't really deserve a green flag because it hasn't recovered, but I know a lot of you like it, so I'm covering it. The one thing to watch out for is that it's below historical TBO resistance here at 256. If it can push above, which it should because it's massively oversold, we should probably see it go up to the fast line. I will say, though, that many charts were massively oversold on Friday. No duh. Thanks, Aaron. I didn't know that. Wow. I'm so glad I watched your video today. Thank you so much. The main thing to pay attention to across the board is that we are having massive V-shaped RSI resets basically everywhere. An RSI reset is when we see the relative strength index here, and I always use a length of 7 on crypto. That way it's a little bit springier. It's more reactive to the ups and the downs of crypto. When it goes below 25 and then it crosses back above, like right here, this is the reset. And all of these charts basically had resets yesterday, which is not surprising at all because everything was really, really, really oversold. So XRP is in that basket. BNB snapped right back up. Now, I want to say something without sounding snarky, and I just want you to hear me, okay? When we have massive, massive, massive pullbacks, liquidation events, the smartest thing you can do is to always identify coins that were previously bullish. BNB, we know, has been on an incredible tear, moved up to 1340, has an incredible pullback down to the fast line, which is technically a TBO springboard bounce, which is what I said on Friday, or rather on Saturday. And look what it did. It bounced back up to the fast line. TBO resistance here at what? 1278. Cool. Moved up 14%. Why did BNB pump and so many others didn't? Because BNB was previously strong bullish. It pays to focus on the trend. If the trend was previously strong bullish, there's a huge chance that these charts are going to bounce back faster. Compare that to XRP, which has not been previously strong bullish. It's been strong bearish. Now, the other thing to keep an eye on that is not good is that BNB put in a lower high here on RSI at 8440 on Wednesday. Even though it had a nice snapback up here, my guess is that we're going to see it put in a higher high in terms of price, but a lower high in terms of RSI. That is a bearish divergence signal. Even though we have one here on the pullback, that's obvious. The weekly is looking insane. If we see it go above 90, that will be a market top signal. We are getting close, even with the crazy price action we saw last week. The weekly candle still closed at 86.35. It's getting close to being done, in my opinion. That's basically what I'm saying. I believe it will go up higher. The first real group is going to be 15 or so, and then the next one's going to be about 26. This is probably going to be some sort of blow off top that'll happen because people are shorting it, and that will cause it to go up higher. At least that's what I am suspecting with it. I already made a video talking about it a while ago. Solana, this one is a little bit strange. It did have an RSI reset. It has not snapped back up. It kind of sort of has a bull flag, but clearly it pierced and broke it, but it didn't stay 3 days below it. That's why I have the question mark here. I don't know if I really want to keep this as a channel because it didn't really obey it at all. But the reality is that there's clear resistance with an immediate resistance right now at 231. So if and when I'll say it this way. When it breaks above this, then it will return back to being strong bullish and people won't be able to handle it. They'll be like, there's no way. But this is actually a bullish setup. When we see lower highs and lower lows, it's actually a good thing. Just trust me, okay? Take it at face value. Hype, this one is only green because it printed a TBT bullish divergence cluster. Just a single one here late Sunday night. Just like back over here, we didn't have an amazing move up, only 14% here for Hype, but I do think that Hype will make a short-term move up, at least to touch the daily TBO fast line, which has a target right now of 44.58. Mantle, this one had a really nasty pullback, TBT bearish divergence on Thursday, TBO closed long, a good show, 38% yesterday, which is insane. I just said it though, right? Focus on the charts that were previously bullish. This one had an insane sell-off and it has bounced back. It does pay to focus on which charts were previously strong bullish. No RSI reset there. Render, this one is not previously strong bullish, but it does have an insane RSI reset. I'm personally expecting Render to do better, even though it's still really shaky. This is just one of those outliers. I'm looking at it and I'm expecting it to go up higher. I could be 100% wrong, but that's just where I am. IP, this one had an RSI reset, not as juicy as many others, but 16.99 is pretty good. And we do have a decent recovery. The short-term target is going to be up here at the fast line, around $8. SPX, huge move. Sorry, I have the hiccups right now. Huge move on Sunday, up 28%, which is massive. This one is still worth watching. Now, look at volume here. See the huge selling? So that changes the trajectory of the moving average. This is even though it happened on selling, this is still a good sign that people are accumulating and buying SPX. So believe it or not, it's actually a good thing. MORPHO. Oh man, I wish I kept my long open because I had a nice entry from like 147 or so, which would be up 30%. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? Good V-shaped correction, incredible recovery. Yesterday up 22%. It's short-term overbought, but it does not mean that it's necessarily has to have a pullback. The market's just overcompensating. Zora, this one had a crazy move up, crazy volatility on Friday. Saturday was down 13%. You already saw the chart on AllTradey where I had a good trade. Basically, got my entry here, which is insane. Got it up, got in, got out, on with my life. This is exactly how I want to do it. And we have a confirmed open long, which is insane. Volume fell down a lot, but that's because of all the volatility. It's still very risky, just so you know. The good thing about it, though, is that it pushed and closed above the 618. Just go easy on it. Zen, crazy price action over here. Just insane Darth Maul candle on Friday. Saturday up 14%, yesterday 7%, insane. Again, focus on charts that were strong, bullish. Zcash, focus on charts that were strong, bullish. Darth Maul candle moves up 29%. Of course, not everything is rosy. Aptos, I am 100% changing my tune. I took out some profits here. I bought some down here. Even though we have an RSI reset, even though volume is growing, even though it actually didn't put in that deep of a new low, it actually did pretty well. On the weekly, we have a TBT bearish divergence, which is just really difficult to reconcile after seeing all of these bullish signs. We could still see Aptos pop and move, up here to $10. I'm of the belief now that I think it's done. I would love to be wrong, but the last couple times we've seen TBT bearish divergences, well, the last one here on the weekly was marking the top. I know this is not a top, but it's just looking so bearish. I'm just going, nope, I'm good. Bitcoin Cash, just one to watch. Nice RSI reset. Good close, up 8%. If Bitcoin continues to do well today, Bitcoin Cash will typically outdo BTC, which is what I expect to have happen, which is what we're seeing right now. It needs to close back above this level. Tau, incredible show. For one, yes, insane Darth Maul candle here on Friday, but look at it going right back up, and it's closed up yesterday 28%. It's above resistance. This resistance level has been in place for a long time. Established here in December, and actually no, started here in December, established here in June. That's crazy. So it's actually above resistance. I am shocked. I think Tau will continue to do well based off of this move. Insane. There's still time. I do think that the bull market will be ending by mid-December. I know that some of you don't want to agree with me. That's totally fine. Maybe we are going to be in a business cycle. Cool. I'm going to stick to my trading plan no matter what, because it served me really, really well, especially on Friday. It served me really well, or on my Saturday. So understand, guys, that nothing is guaranteed. This is why it's so important to take profits on the way up. You never know. You literally never know what's going to happen. There are no guarantees. I also want to say that, yes, you could still use leverage. If you are, there are two things I want to give you real quick before I cut the video. One, consider an 80-20 approach to leverage, where 20% of your portfolio is used for leverage. Yes, it's going to take way longer to grow your portfolio on spot, but you'll have way more peace of mind. Two, at the end of every month, or even at every single trade, take a portion of the profits and put it into your spot portfolio to grow it so that way you can use it for trading. Your leverage portfolio should be used as a revenue generator. I've never ever leaned on leverage to be my only source of income for trading. I know many traders don't do that, and that's fine. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. You do you. But I'm saying that for me, what works better for me, especially on pullbacks like we saw, I really don't want to put a lot of my portfolio in leverage. It just hasn't served me well. Emotionally, physically, spiritually, everything, like it just messes with me. So if that's you, you can use leverage. Consider an 80-20 or something like that rule. If you want to do more, 70-30, that's fine. But the main thing is that when you make a profit, take those profits, put it into spot. Don't focus on growing your leverage portfolio to be your sole source. You can do whatever you want. Now, I made a video talking about alt trading and these really cool quizzes that are there. If you guys failed the test on Friday, I am seriously encouraging you to watch this video, okay? Until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.